Lascavo prossimo, it's Satoshi Matsuura season here, and this week I want to make a dragon. Voi gotovi? Dragons and serpents crop up quite a bit in Matsuura's work, and among them we can see a few elements recurring. These spiny, spiky things, whiskers a bit like on a catfish, and there are these coils and loops. We can see where some of these design elements may have come from in these traditional Asian dragon designs. Another striking feature is the contrast between the bellies and the top sides. That's surely taken from nature. Just take a look at these photographs of real snakes. Now, I particularly love this vicious looking fella here. It's a lovely sweeping curve. It's got that loop in there, but it's angular at the same time. And for me, it captures something about a lot of sea creatures. They're sinuous, they can be ribbon-like, but they've got really sharp spines and teeth. This is the perfect type of thing to make with QuickCurve, because I can just draw a really sinuous, loopy serpent shape in 3D. Well, that's cool and everything, but let's make one with a more interesting profile, cross-section. I was fascinated by this corn snake. Look at this. Look how flat the belly is, and then how sharp the transition from the belly to the sides. And also look at how steep the sides are, and they come up to this ridge along the top. Now this would be something like this in cross-section. Here's one I made earlier. I'm going to draw another serpent, this time with this curve which I just showed you as the profile. So with that selected, tap J once you're in QuickCurve with Control F, J for custom brush, and at the bottom the bottom left, you see that's now selected as the custom brush. I'll just do a test stroke. Now, you may well find that that doesn't work as expected. So just open the QuickCurve Pie menu with Control D, and I'm looking for tilt value. I can adjust the tilt value. I'm going to say 90 degrees, turn it through 90 degrees, do another test stroke. Okay, so the custom brush is now set up the way I want it. And now to make this a really natural and intuitive process, I'm going to switch to voxel modeling. So once again, Control D for the pie menu. This isn't a terribly big model I'm making, so I need to keep the voxel size quite small, say 0.05. And I'll give it a bit of smoothing too, say 10. All right, let's get scribbling. Of course, Quicktools aligns objects to the view plane. So this curve is looking a bit 2D at the moment. If I orbit around, all the points are on the same plane. Control F to exit QuickCurve. And now make sure you don't select the voxel mesh that this thing has made. What you need is this bounding box around it. Quicktools has automatically hidden the original curve, and it's now displaying only the bounding box. If I select it over in the outliner, we can see that that is a curve object. I'll rename that to curve body main. On the other hand, if I select the voxel in the outliner, you can see that's listed as a quick voxel, and you can see by the symbol that it's a mesh. I want the curve that's driving that voxel object. Select that bounding box, then tab to edit. And now I can simplify this curve a bit. I'm going to select all points and then use the curve menu up at the top, clean up, decimate. I want to keep it about the same shape as it already is, but I want to remove a lot of these points. They're going to make it quite awkward to deal with if I have all these points here. I'm going to use a value of around 0.17. I found that that worked about right. I also want all of these to be smooth points. So I need the handle menu, tap V, and I need automatic. Right, now I can grab points, move them about, make this into more of a 3D object. I'm just using standard Blender curve editing tools here. So scale point radii with the Alt-S shortcut if you want. You can make the ends thinner or fatter or wherever you decide along the length. You can change the thickness. Now, to change the twist along the length of this serpent, I can adjust the point tilt point by point if I want with Control T. And just move the mouse. Now, if you find that this is looking a bit faceted, you can just crank up the curve resolution in the Curve Object Properties tab, the little green icon here. You can turn it way up. I've used 24 before now. Okay, so there's a good starting point. Now I want to add in the head and some limbs, wings, spines, and so on, more details. For this, I can just use the default circle profile for QuickCurve. So I'll just clear the custom brush with the shortcut K. Just be aware that if you decide to clear the custom brush, the voxel settings may also get cleared. So check them in the Control D Pi menu. Remember, I had 0.05 set and I had smoothing set to 10. Now, to make some sharp spines, I think I'll switch tapering on with Shift B. I can cycle through beginning or end or both ends. I want just the ends to taper. I want these strokes to merge into the body of the serpent. I don't want them sitting on top, sticking out of the side. So I'll set direction to away from view with Shift G. And at the bottom, the alignment, I'm going to use Alt W, first click position. Now for larger details, say fins and wings, I can switch to QuickShape. I'll set the brush quite shallow with F to create quite thin shapes. Control D to make the voxel settings match what we've been using so far, 0.05 voxel size, smoothing to 10. Again, I'm going to set the direction away from view with the Shift G shortcut. And my alignment, again, Alt W, first click position. Let's see if we can stick some wings on this guy. And now switching between using QuickCurve and QuickShape, I can add arms and claws, and jaws. It's great to have all these separate curve and mesh objects, the ones you can see represented by these bounding boxes. It gives me fantastic flexibility if I want to reposition anything or scale or rotate it. And of course, if I want to refine parts, I can of course hop into edit mode and push and pull edges, vertices, faces around. Okay, we got something looking vaguely dragonish there. Sayonara for now. Do zустрічі! 3D from Zero makes tutorials and tips about 3D software. If you're into 3D, or you'd like to be, check out my free course on 3dfromzero.com, and there are some paid courses there too. Thanks for watching.